Hello, my name is Miri Malkin. I'm certified hypnotherapist and certified emotion, body, and belief code practitioner. Also, I'm certified coach. And today I have Helena Jehnichen here with me. And Helena is certified hypnotherapy practitioner and certified emotion code practitioner. And today we're going to talk about emotional patterns stored in the body that influence tummy issues like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and any other tummy issues that sometimes we say the name, sometimes we don't. And we also going to talk about the emotions and how they influence what we feel in our tummy and how it manifests, and what people can do to release those emotions that may cause those symptoms. So, and the symptoms, maybe you want to talk about the symptoms and what they are. So thank you for being here and welcome. And let's start. What symptoms? What is what is IBS and how can emotions um, are affecting it?
Hello, Mary. Thank you so much for inviting me here to speak about tummy issues and emotions. The tummy issues that I work with, my clients, they actually come to me and with the label irritable bowel syndrome symptoms. And the symptoms that they come with are often they find embarrassing, but they're not alone and they're experiencing tummy troubles like pooping issues, constipation, or diarrhea. Their stomachs might be feeling bloated. They might be cramping and they might be burping and excess gas and they're just really uncomfortable and they're maybe also embarrassed about their situation and it's affecting many areas of their personal life, their work life. It might even be preventing them from going on a vacation or social events. So yeah, let's talk about the emotions and what we can do to help people find relief.
So, as you said, let's start with the emotions because emotions, how do they actually affect those issues? And what are those emotions?
So the emotions that can affect the issues, the tummy issues, we'll call it tummy issues. Um, there's so many emotions, aren't there, in the world, and people have lots of different names for them. But basically, Mary, there are two kinds of emotions: a positive emotion that makes you feel good, and a negative emotion that makes you feel bad. So imagine if your body is hanging on to negative emotions. And what if those negative emotions are stored in your body, in your tissues, in your cells, in your stomach, in your esophagus, in your colon, your intestine, and they're causing disruption and uncomfortableness and many different symptoms? So, emotions are not only in the mind, they can be in the heart, they can be in the gut, and all over the body.
And this emotional layer, when someone is coming to you and say like, I have this IBS, so I have diarrhea or anything else, right? At the beginning, I guess they don't say diarrhea, but whatever. They say I have IBS. How do you introduce the emotions and the effect of the emotions to them?
Hmm. So when I'm working with the client, they fill out a very specific intake form, and I take a little bit of their history. And I'm asking already on that intake form about feelings, emotions in different situations. And then when I'm working with my clients, they already know a little bit about me. We've had a 15-minute consultation. They've most likely watched some of my videos about the emotion code process. They've maybe watched a video about my gut-directed hypnotherapy process. So they come already quite educated. But if you're not sure about how emotions are affecting your tummy, just remember a time when you were maybe in a social situation and your tummy was starting to act up, it was starting
Mm.
to cramp. Maybe you can feel the gas bubbles starting to rise, and maybe you're feeling like you need to burp or fart or something like that. And your you're wanting to control your body and you're getting frustrated. You might be getting embarrassed. And so all those emotions they could be actually aggravating the whole situation. Your tummy is starting to feel more and more uncomfortable. And then what my clients a lot of times say is that they just escape. They need to get out of there. And they miss out on so much.
Yeah. So what, like, do you see any commonality, any patterns with those who come for IBS?
Yes. There is anxiety. There might be depression. There might be indecision. There might be um, they're most likely always, it's hard to say always, but most likely always, what I found is that there is some events in their past that weren't processed. They didn't know how to deal with them. Maybe when they were a child or a teenager, a young adult, that those emotions, those experiences are still kind of trapped within them, and they're wanting to hold on to them so tightly. There might be afraid to explore that, and that's where the process that I use is gentle, it's effective, it's fast, and we're able to find and release those emotions, those experiences, so their body can calm down and do what it
Mhm.
naturally needs to do and wants to do.
So this is a very typical um, case, if we can call it that, of mind-body connection.
Yes.
Maybe you can, since you're working with it for quite a while, for a number of years, then maybe you can talk about this mind-body connection and how those emotions, not how only how they can identify them and feel them, but how they can actually affect their body.
So, um, have you ever heard of the term that we have three brains in our body? There's the brain up here, all the brain neurons and the neural pathways. But there's also the digestive system has its own neural system. It's called the enteric nervous system. It has its own nervous system. And there is a nerve, the vagus nerve, that connects the brain and the gut brain connection. And so the emotions and the experiences that we have experienced or are experiencing travels up and down that nervous system connection, the vagus nerve, and the brain and the gut are communicating. So imagine fear as an emotion. The whole system just goes, clenches down like this. That's the gut system. They just clench down because it needs to deal with whatever they are afraid of, or they need to run away from, or fight, or freeze, whatever the response is. All of the resources are going to go towards that and not the digestive system. So emotions will affect the physical body. Sometimes it gets clenched, the digestive system, and sometimes it just kind of like a fawn, like faint, it just lets go. So that's where people find constipation and diarrhea and the emotions
That's
affecting their physical body. Yeah.
right. Um, and so you work in a very unique way, integrating hypnosis with emotion code. Can you maybe talk a little bit about that and how it is effectively helping people you work with?
Certainly. There is a term called gut directed hypnotherapy. And there are actually two universities, one in the United States, North Carolina University, and also in the UK, in England, Great Britain. There is a university called Manchester. And both of these universities have developed protocols that they can teach and have practitioners, doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, and so forth, even psychiatrists, psychologists, have standard protocol that they can read to their clients and do the hypnotherapy, the hypnosis portion. And these two different universities have done clinical trials and they have found extreme success by delivering these protocols. Now imagine, instead of just reading you a script, Mary, that's designed for absolutely everybody, as a clinical hypnotherapist, we are able to have a two-way conversation with the person's subconscious mind. So no longer are we telling them something. It's a two-way conversation where the person then is able to perhaps revisit in a most gentle, wonderful, easy way, supportive way, and release the past experience that might be in their body, in their mind for 50 years. See a lot of older clients that come to me with IBS symptoms. And we're able to process it, reframe it. And so they can move forward from that experience and let their body come back to a sense of safety, peace, and then integrating the knowledge from those two universities and helping the person find relaxation. But what if we could even add in the emotion code process, where I specifically, as a practitioner, use my own protocol to go find and release the emotions so we don't have to talk about it. Isn't that amazing? With this emotion code process, we don't have to talk about it. We can simply release
it's
it.
fantastic because, as you said, lots of shame is involved.
Shame, embarrassment,
Yeah.
shock, panic, feeling unworthy, feeling
So what
self-conscious.
you are saying is basically that the issue is, as we call it, in the subconscious level. What does it mean?
The subconscious part of our system. We have our conscious, analytical thinking mind. Logically, I know that, imagine, I know as an adult, as a 60-plus-year-old woman, I know that something that happened to me when I was a teenager in high school should not be affecting me any longer. But yet it does, because it's still active in my nervous system. It's like I was there and I'm immediately transported. That information is stored in the subconscious part of the mind. And the subconscious part of the mind holds on to that unless we can guide it and help it to change it, to reframe it, to let it go, to process it. And it just becomes an event, an experience with no emotional intensity. Imagine having a memory and letting go of the emotional intensity about that event. That's something that could really help people move on and feel calm and safe and relaxed in their own skin, in their own body, in their own life.
Absolutely. Yeah. So when you work with someone, do you have protocol, a process? How do you do that?
Yes, there's a standard protocol that is my guiding post. But yet each individual client is an individual. And so I'm able to customize and personalize for each individual person. But there is a protocol, and it's a 4-week program. And we meet once a week for a few weeks. And then sometimes people like to take a break, like a week break or so. And that then gives them time over about a month or 5 weeks to really experience the changes in their body, in their tummy, in their bathroom habits, and how they're feeling. So yes, there is a process.
Can you talk about what an individual who wants to work with you, what can they expect?
Well, what they can expect is relief. They can expect understanding. Now, Miri, metaphorically, I have, let's use this, a magic wand. Yes, this magic wand has lots of different tools and techniques and understanding and education and so forth. And I can help the client. However, each client is living a life, and they might be in a situation, in an environment, in a relationship that they still have to navigate. Maybe it's not ideal. So the magic wand can do a lot, but what we do is we get them to a point, my clients, I get them to a point, I support them, And then they're able to, because they're feeling stronger, calmer, make the necessary shifts in their life more easily. And sometimes, Mary, it comes down to actually what they eat and when they eat and how they eat. It's amazing. Sometimes it's just a simple change like that can make a huge change in the digestion system.
So how do they work with you? Do they come in? Where are you located? What's the process about that?
Certainly. So most of my clients, I work with them online. And so I'm able to see clients from all over the world, mostly here in Canada and North America. The time zones really work really well. But I do have this office that I work out of, and I'm in Kelowna, British Columbia. So if you're in the Okanagan area, and you can come to my office and we will work together. Typically, our sessions together are about an hour, and that's a lot to go through because we work through things quite quickly. And then I gift my clients and I ask them to listen to a few audios in between our sessions to reinforce what we worked on during the session. And I have to say, people do like a guided session where we guide them to feel relaxation, calm, and maybe even drift off to sleep.
So how do they get in touch with you? What do they need to do? Where do they find you?
People can find me on my website, which is flourishhypnosis.com. And I have a dedicated page talking about gut-directed hypnotherapy. There's another page about the emotion code. So I find by the time my clients, we do a consultation. So before they actually book the consultation, they browse the website to learn a little bit more. During that consultation, they can ask me questions. I'd like to ask them questions because I want to make sure that that I can work with them. There are some red flags that I ask them to go talk to a medical doctor before coming in to see me. I want to make sure that that the person has had a checkup to make sure that it's something like gut-directed hypnotherapy is going to help them, and that it's IBS and it's not something more serious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So let's give some hope to
Yeah.
those who listen, to those who see you, those who want to come and talk to you. What can you tell those who have tried everything, still feel helpless and hopeless? What can you tell them about what you're doing, about how you can help them?
Certainly. What I can share is that they're not alone, that about 20% of the female North American population has experienced tummy issues, quite severe, sometime in their life. So just to know that you're not the only person who's suffering. The hope I want to give is that even if you go talk to your doctor and you get the label of or diagnosis of irritable bowel syndrome, just know that that is a very large umbrella that covers a lot of different symptoms. But if the person feels that it could be emotion related, there's they know of some experiences that are tucked away deep in their subconscious. Could be grief, could be whatever it might be. Then this process can really bring a lot of comfort and understanding to that person and that life, and so that they can go back to life and fully experience it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, because this gives lots of hope to those who feel stuck, not heard.
Yeah.
And now they can basically talk to you and take their life in a direction that will allow them to be hopeful and feel relief from that issue.
Yes. And relief is possible when your body, your nervous system, your mind are all working together.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.